Welcome to another episode of the Popko Project Podcast. And today I'm joined by Sean Flynn, the man of many projects. And
Yeah,
we're here to talk about a new one, believe it or not.
yes, but that's something very much that I'm still kind of wrapping my head around a little bit.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that 'cause I have a lot of questions. But I mean,
I'm sure you do.
Sean, you've been old charades, these these colored
Those color
foxes,
pop,
those colored foxes, yeah. American Buffalo Ghost, probably missing one or two somewhere, but
the Broke Pines.
the Broke Pines, of course. I knew it. I knew I was missing one. I knew I was missing one.
Oh,
I play you guys on the radio. How do I forget that?
oh yeah, man, we're still the thing. There
Yeah.
Broke Pines are still very active
Yeah, just put
doing
out
stuff.
a Christmas song last year. It was great.
That song was so like a great little thing, and like we ended up we cut that track before we get into all this. I love that song.
Yeah.
And it's so weird because I think that might be one of the best guitar playing parts I've ever done on a song. And before we laid down the lyrics, we were like, this song's really good. Do you sure want to make it a Christmas song? Like, we had a good 5 minute conversation of like, this song's really good. Should we do it? And then it ended up just doing a Christmas song. But um, people really like that. But yeah, then we ended up putting out our record earlier this year, which we've been sitting on for God 2.5 years. I can't believe it's even been that long. But yeah, man, like we're still working, still very very active.
Well,
And I'll
we
get into
haven't
the
done one of
American Buffalo
these.
Ghost stuff.
We haven't done one of these in like 4 years. I was looking
Yeah,
back.
man, I was gonna say it was still COVID time.
Yeah, I think it's 2021, like early 2021.
Yeah, it was like May 2021. Yeah, I hadn't gotten my round of COVID yet, one of my 3 rounds of COVID yet, so that was a pretty wild time.
Yeah. I haven't done a podcast. I haven't recorded a podcast since July 2nd. And today
He
is
took some,
July 28th.
he took some time off.
It's been the last couple of months have been interesting. Just I won't get into it, but just kind of like just a mental cluster fuck, I guess you could say. Just I kind of fell off a little bit in all aspects of my life, and then now it's kind of I'm trying to like get back into it. So I'm
Well,
excited to.
this summer, I think a lot of people kind of fell into I don't know, man. I mean, we can go down the rabbit hole of the year if you want, if you really want to talk about why people are feeling the way they are this year.
Let's
But I
let's
feel
let's do that. We'll do that, but
okay,
I always worry that people get into this and then they tune out. So I want to talk about
okay,
the important part, and then we'll go into
okay.
the shitty year that
Good, good call.
2025 has been.
Good call.
But we got a new project, the Electric
Mhm.
City Surf Club.
Yeah.
I've had the pleasure of listening to it. I've seen some art for it.
Mhm.
Uh, different, man.
It is different. I will say that. Fire away, whatever you got, man.
Well, I
Because
mean,
dude, ask away.
well, first, are you drinking? Are you having beverages?
Yes, yeah. Blind Cat, the Cricket Pilsner,
Okay.
supporting a good. I was just down there this past weekend with some of my buddies, or actually, I should say some of my buddies. It was a couple that my wife and I are best friends with, and we're actually planning a vacation next year together. And we were all like, let's just go to. We were going to go to Althea. I don't know if you ever eaten at a Pizza Althea,
My
but
wife has, but I
Blind
have
Cat,
not.
yeah, yeah, but like Blind Cat and Althea are like 100 yards away from each other.
Yes.
So I was like, let's just go there. And I know all those guys down at Blind Cat; they're great people, and I really enjoy the Cricket Pilsner. So
I wasn't sure.
so
I brought beers just in case, just 'cause I like having a beer with you. Because
you and me, when we get into it, buddy, I should
yeah,
have got another one. I should have had a backup. I didn't plan ahead. Maybe we could pause
we
and I
could
can go
pause.
get
Yeah,
one. But when we get there, but
yeah. I'm gonna do the peach fuzz from Mutant Brewery.
Mhm.
Gotta rep the brand. A little collaboration we do with Mutant. See this? I'm way out of practice. I can't even talk. It's been that long.
I
Peach fuzz.
I don't really. And the funny thing is that like I like Mutant Brewing. My allergies are killing me. And by the way, and I'm in my wife's office, so like I'm never in here. So like it's I feel like I'm sitting in like some place weird. Um, uh, she like practically lives in here, and if for me to sit in here and I'm looking at all the shit she has on her walls, and I'm just like, what? But anyway,
All of our dead skins flying around there.
yeah, like yeah, seriously, like the Okay.
Rusty skeleton.
Anyway, that's a weird shit. Like, what is she doing here? But no, the mutant thing is I, I love Mutant Brewing's food. I talked to Steve about their chicken wings, and I said they're the closest thing I've ever had to the chicken coop, the original chicken coop from Wilkes-Barre, because I have dual citizenship from Wilkes-Barre and Scranton, as I've been told.
Okay.
And he actually said that recipe for his wings is exactly what he was trying to get. Was the chicken wing coop sauce recipe. There's a whole story for it, but again, that's a rabbit hole. But the point is, I don't really like the kind of beers that you're drinking, like the really fruity, a lot of sugar stuff. I cut back on a lot of those sugary beers, so I might have to try that beer, but it's not really in my wheelhouse.
Well, go just to get a little taster.
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
overpowering with a peach flavor. It's like nice hint. It's very good. 6.8%, good beer, good for summer. But his food there, I mean, the Detroit style pizza he has, I was like a
Oh,
huge fan of the hot honey pepperoni.
mm.
And then I had the chicken wing Detroit style pizza, and oh my God, I
Oh,
was like, wow, I've been missing out.
the tacos as well. I don't know if you
Really?
ever.
No, I haven't.
Oh, those chicken street tacos. Uh, uh, Not good to eat in the summer because you just when you're done eating them. But yeah, man, they I usually I was a staple down there. I was like just getting them like every week.
Yeah,
And I was like, it's good stuff. But again, we can get side. You and I,
we will.
this is how we are. You and I just
Yeah, this is these podcasts are more for us, not the
yeah,
listener.
yeah.
But yeah, man, talk to me about this new project, the Electric City Surf Club. Like I said, art's really cool. Um, just talk about I mean, why you started it, what the intentions are, all the stuff that you got planned for it.
Well, okay. Well, do you, I really don't. I kind of. Do you want like the origin story or
Yeah,
what's the
yeah,
okay?
yeah. Because like, I mean, it. So there's no lyrics. It's
Oh,
it's
it's a
it's
surf record.
surf music. It's I. So when I listen to it, I'm thinking of myself in like a Saved by the Bell, like maybe one of those beach episodes or
Yeah.
the Sandlot. I'm thinking like this is like soundtrack material, you know?
Yeah. Tom Lopes, who did the bass on the record, we were listening to the playback, and then Tom's got his own sense of humor. Everybody who knows him knows how he is. He actually turned to me as he was getting a cigarette ready, and he goes like, "So did Tarantino call you for the 10th film, and that's what this is? Because what this is just a Tarantino soundtrack." But yeah, it's got a lot more rock to it than I think the original concept I had. I wanted it to be more cleaner. Music guys will know what I mean by that. You listen to it, it's pretty, it's not distorted. It's not it if you go back and listen to real surf music, there it's very, very clean. So I guess I'll get into the whole thing here with
Yeah.
this. Okay, I'm not gonna say something like it's been a dream of mine since I was whatever to do that. That's complete. I've never been on a surfboard in my life. Um, I almost went surfing. I went to Hawaii 2 years ago or whatever, and if I was there another couple days, I was going to take a surf lesson, but I never been on a surfboard in my life. I've never had any kind of like harboring dreams to be a surf rock guy. What I knew you were going to ask this question, so I really had to think about it because I was like, whatever. And again, my allergies are killing me being in this room. I know people are going to think the dude scratches his nose a lot. What's he doing? It's just allergies. I swear
Yeah.
to God.
Ooh.
Um, okay, I think the germ of all of this started in the very unlikely place of um, I was playing a lot of Fallout 4, which
Okay.
is not where you would think this would start. I
No.
think that's where this kind of came from. Have you ever played Fallout 4? You ever played any of
No.
the Fallout games?
No. I wish I
Or
had
do you know
time.
what it is? Do you know what it is?
I have an idea.
Okay, but very, very quickly, it's the America never moved past the nuclear age, 1958, but it went all the way. So imagine 1958 in the year like 2077. The cars, the clothes, the music, everything never moved past then. And then the world ended. And then it's just a nuclear apocalypse. But anyway, I was playing a lot of Fallout 4, and they have radio stations where they play the same music over and over and over again as a joke in the game, where they only have a finite amount of records left after the end of the world, after a nuclear apocalypse. So the guy on the radio station says he's only got to play the same Ink Spots or Nat King Cole record again, again, again. And so I was listening to those songs, and they have that 1950s kind of thing. And then so at the same time, I was listening, getting back into jazz. I was listening to a lot of the 1959, so the kind of blue, Miles Davis, Dave Brubeck's Time Out. There was a Charles Mingus, those 1959 jazz records. So somewhere along those lines, I was just kind of just listening to a lot of that, and also my wife and I kept talking about how much we loved Hawaii. We really liked Hawaii, and we went there. And when we were there, I was doing all kinds of stuff. And I as a kid, I'll say this: I always loved tiki culture, like Hawaiian Polynesian shit.
Sure.
I always liked that kind of stuff. So I always liked Hawaiian shirts. I always liked that stuff. So really, it was not that hard of a make a connection from the 1950s Hawaiian culture. That's not a short drive into surf music. So I just started listening to the Beach Boys a little bit, but again, not anywhere near this concept. And I watched on YouTube, you could still watch it, it's for free. It's a documentary on the band The Ventures, which is the surf band that made Walk Don't Run and all these other things that I knew of them, but again, nothing. So I just kind of listened to it, and I was again at this in the midst of all of this. You got to understand, I'm in the middle of writing and making a new American Buffalo Ghost record, which is folky, bluegrass, Americana, playing full time in the Broke Pines, which is Tom Petty, Wilco, television, electric guitar music. And where I think the last piece of the puzzle fell into place was I really started doing homework on the history and the technicality and pieces of Fender musical guitars. I'm a big Fender guy. Musicians, again, know what that is. Fender guitars. Like there's Gibson and then Fender. I'm always a big Fender guy. So I was just kind of falling in love with the history again of Fender guitars, the clean sound of Fender high headroom amps, reverb. And I got this shitty Jazzmaster guitar that I was modding, and I was playing it, and I was like, Jazzmaster is like what not Nels Cline and Wilco plays, or the guys in Sonic Youth play. So if you picture Sonic Youth or a Nels Cline from Wilco, that guitar is the Jazzmaster, Elvis Costello kind of thing. So I'm not kidding. One day I was messing with it, and I didn't like the guitar, and I just out of the blue went turn my brain off, and I did it just to amuse myself for 45 seconds. And then day went by, I did it again, and I started doing more of it. And then after about a week, I amassed like 7, 8 little riffs, not songs, riffs. And my wife comes into my music room. Again, she's in here, I'm in there, so it's like you know what I mean? Like, what the hell? She's like, that's really good. Like that's a lot of fun. And she likes surf music to begin with. She loves the Beach Boys. That's what her favorite bands are. So she likes that Fender clean sound, that surf California sound. And then I just think I was sitting on the couch one night with my wife, had a couple drinks, and I put a post on social media. I try and stay off Facebook, particularly in the last 7, 8, 9 months. And
good for you.
I'm trying. I'm getting good. I'm getting there, but I just said, hey, here's a crazy, half kidding, half serious idea. If I started a surf band, and you can go back and look on it, and the post is still there, and people are saying, yeah, 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 yeah. My neighbor who lives a couple houses away was like, yeah, man, go for it. I see him walking up and down the street. He says, I saw your post, and then the idea started going like this, like this, and like this, and like this, and now I have this thing here, and it's what, late July. This was not even a concept 4 months ago. So it's so weird how quick and how just thing it was about it, that it came together out of a there's an idea to holy shit, here's a record. And it's there's t-shirts, and I have people across the country hitting me up now about this thing in 72 hours since I said, oh yeah, here it is. I didn't think that was gonna happen, but okay.
It's available now, right?
Mhm.
It's
I
streaming
don't think
everywhere.
Spotify's ever approved something so quickly.
Well, I think that's kind of how your brain works, right? I feel like you're that's just how you kind of operate. I mean, you have your hands in all these different things and different styles of music. It just kind of like when this didn't surprise me, I guess you could say, when you hit me up and said, "Hey, this is here's a surf record."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, okay, this makes sense."
Well, I definitely had a couple weeks where I was talking to some people, and I said, what if there was a surf band in Scranton, Pennsylvania? I didn't just jump on this. I was definitely talking to a couple of my buddies and people that are not involved in the music scene whatsoever. I just said, what if there was a Scranton surf band? And everybody was like, okay, all right. And then I started really kind of thinking about it. And then, funny enough, I started talking to a lot of the guys in the music scene. A lot of the James Barrett's, Ty Barrett's, guys from Rosary Guild, the scene.
Hmm.
Um, and I had two reactions, no middle ground. I had two reactions from every single person in the scene I spoke to about this. When I said, I'm thinking of doing a surf record, one would group of people would go, okay, all right, okay, all right. The other half went, dude, yes, like like it's been the missing link for some reason, and that was it. And like people were like, either good luck or yo, let me know when this is happening. And then, believe it or not, as it kind of got close and close to it, the making of the record actually is a funny little weird story unto itself, and it's incredible actually. But yeah, man, it was there's surf music in Scranton now.
I saw someone comment. Was it? I forget his name. Was it Langan?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Oh, there's been surf music before," and listed off a bunch of names I never heard
I
of.
I never heard of them.
Yeah,
I was like, that's new to me. I've been playing in the scene for God over 15 years. I'd never heard of any of those bands.
but but it's cool. It's like, this is definitely a thing. There's interest in it. And I mean, what are what's the goal with this? Like, I mean, are we talking about, playing out? Are we talking, and how would you play out with that?
Well, okay, that that's the interesting little part of the where the plot turns a little bit is the whole thing about it was all the songs on the EP to a person who is just listening to music, they'll listen to it and they'll be like, oh, okay, it's a surf record and blah, blah, and it is what it is. And just more, again, surf rock than pure surf music. I kind of found the difference a little bit. I didn't just, I did my homework a little bit. Um, uh, but to a musician, when I say this, they'll get it. Every song is a 1-4-5 or a 1-3-4-5. All the songs are. I deliberately, I took it from. I called it like stupid jazz, in the sense of, again, that's where that kind of the instrumental thing came into my mind, where I said, I don't know if I can get a band together for this, but if I did play a band out, I want to be able to make 5 phone calls to any musician in the area that I know I'm going to need: a drummer, a bass player, a guitar player, or a horn player, or whatever. There's no horns on the record, unfortunately. I would have loved a saxophone, but it just didn't work. And I used it. I'll get into that in a minute. But if I called up and I spoke to Ed Kuzo about this very thing, actually, because Kuzo was one of the guys who said, dude, I'm all about this. I said, all the songs are in a 1-4-5 or something like that, where I can go, it's a 1-4-5 in C, or it's a 1-4-5 in E, or a 1-5-4, 1-4-5 in G. There are only 3 chords. And the beat, when we were recording it, I might as well just tell the story then, because this is the concept. Tom Lopes plays bass, and Steve Warner in the Broke Pines, he plays drums on it. Tom Lopes is my buddy from college. We did old charades, and he's on American Buffalo Ghost Records. He's my best friend. Everybody knows him in the scene. He's Tom Lopes. You know, like, it's just unanimous. It's like, he's a great guy. Never heard the songs, either of them. And I was actually in the studio on Saturday working on the new American Buffalo Ghost record with Eric Ritter at the Windmill Agency. And I said to him, the next day, we're doing something completely different. And it was a hard left turn from me sitting there working on bluegrass riffs, folk songs, I was playing harmonica, playing piano, really playing instruments. And I said, tomorrow's going to be a very different set of rules. Steve only had 90 minutes. He had to go to a gig. So he shows up, never heard the songs. Tom was coming later. I told him deliberately to show up later in the session. I told Steve, here's how we're going to do this. Every song is going to be for you an A and a B part. So if you listen to the record, all the drums on the songs, they only have 2 parts. And he just inverts them or plays them back to back, or repeats them. So I said, here's the riff. And I would play it. And there was no structure. And I said, here, and I'd play a song, I'm kind of thinking like this. So I would find the Dick Dale or the Baba Louie's, or there's all these surf bands that I got into, I was doing my homework on, or something. I would play the Pulp Fiction soundtrack, and I said, give me this, give me that, kind of a thing. And Steve would play a beat, I'd play the riff, we played for about 45 seconds, and I go, what do you think? He goes, let's do it again. Okay, blah 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 blah, I want to do this. Okay, fine, play it. Now what's your B part going to be? Take something away or put something in. Okay, we get it. Put them together. Eric, roll tape. Da, 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 run it again. Da, 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 da. Okay, got it. Let's go. He recorded that whole record front in chronological order, as you hear it on the record, in 45 minutes, because he had to leave. So that whole, and he never heard them before. Tom shows up. I wrote the chords down, and I said, here's how you're going to do this. Here's how it's going to be, blah, 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 blah. And I would told them both, essentially, I go, you got to look at this as jazz, but really, 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 really stupid, dumbed down jazz, where this is your first instinct is what we're going with. What you feel is what we're doing. And what you're doing is what's going on the record. So think about how simple it has to be, but don't make it monotonous, because it's got to be whatever. And also, I told Eric Ritter, you have to cut these songs off at 2 minutes or 2 minutes and 10 seconds or whatever. Or if we go over it, it's a fade out. So that's why there's no fat on the record. All the songs range from 90 seconds to 2.5 minutes roughly in there, because I knew it was going to get monotonous. I knew it was going to start to get, okay, what's going on here? That's why it has very limited shelf life, and there's no fat. So Tom never heard it. He's sitting there listening to what Steve and I are doing, and he starts playing and playing and playing. Both of them, after 20 minutes or so, it was kind of interesting. It went from being, we're doing Sean a weird favor, to, hold on a minute, this is actually kind of interesting. This is actually kind of fun. And they actually got into it. And I was shocked that Steve got into it. That Steve was like, no. We're play your part like this, do that. And he started telling me how to do some of it. And then the Blues Boogie Board Holiday, we made that up on the spot, because I told Steve, give me a beat that you want to play that you feel is missing from the songs that we just played. And he went, okay, boom, 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 boom. And it gave me a reason to go boom, 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 because I feel like I didn't do that yet, and you need to do that on a surf record. And Tom will keys it in. It's an E. Got it. There it is. And that's it. And then as we're recording it up at the Windmill Agency, the Ritter Winery is across the parking lot. It's a famous wine place where people go and take their kids and eat, and it's a winery. It's a great little spot. It's like on its way to Lake Ariel. Dustin Douglas is playing acoustic guitar. It's Jeremy Burke and I play acoustic guitar there all the time. It's a great place to just chill. Great people, great place. He looked at me and he goes, "Oh, what are you doing? You doing your folk thing?" I go, "No, I'm not. I'm doing something totally different." He's like, "What?" I go, "I'm doing a surf record." And he did the what? What? I said,
Yeah,
when
I
you're
can
on your
picture.
set break, come on over. He went, "Yeah, okay." I shit you not, he walked in. The first thing he did was look at the amps. He wanted to know what the amps were that I was running. And because he's a big gearhead like me, because that's
Mhm.
immediately what I would have done too. And I said, the song's in A minor. Okay. I gave him the guitar. He roll it, just roll it. And the Lackawanna Wipeout is him playing the guitar solo. That's him take one. Then he put the guitar down, went and listened to it, shook my hand, and said, "Call me if you need," because I told him about the whole concept of
Yeah.
what I just told about how I want to be able to call guys if this is going to be a thing. And he said, "You got my number, right?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Call me. I want to be in on this." I don't know if he was just being nice, but and then he went back to work. So and then the whole record was done in 5.5 hours, front to back. There was not a single note of it had ever been heard or played before, and I walked out of there 5.5 hours with the whole thing.
That's awesome. This sounds like it could be like if you were to do something like out live, like where, it could be like an all-star cast where like, hey, like we're all going to show up. And then Dustin jumps in or James Barrett jumps in or Ed Kuzo jumps.
Yeah,
And it's just like
yeah,
it says it's quick. I think it's like 14 minutes long, right? And you could probably expand if you wanted
jamming.
to, yeah.
Oh yeah, we're gonna
But
jam it. I wanted to. I think that's the case of it. And then my wife, who's been like the executive producer on the whole thing because she's a big surf fan, so that's why I was like, "What do you think of this? What do you think of this? What do you think of this?" And I let her kind of dictate a little bit of it, just because why the hell not? But then I was kind of making up my own little rules for the surf club, and I was like, okay, so you got to have a Fender or Squire guitar, you got to have like a Fender amp, and because I want that. I think that's where a lot of this stemmed from, honestly, is just me being such a goddamn gearhead of musical gear. I just love tinkering with amps and pedals and guitars, and I love playing with toys. They're
mhm.
toys. And I love Fender instruments, and I just listen to the old country western records where they have Telecasters, and I think where a lot of it was just that whole Fender clean sound, and I love that thing, and I think that's where a lot of this kind of pushed it over into it. So I kind of like, it's the same thing with American Buffalo Ghost. Like I love Martin guitars. I only play Martin acoustic guitars on those records because I love, well, they're a Pennsylvania company, so I support Pennsylvania products and everything. But it's the same kind of thing with Fender. So that's why I was like, oh, if you're playing, and then if you look, I found out all these like little surf scenes. I'll get into that in a minute though. But yeah, I was like, if you're playing in the surf club, you got to have a Fender. You got to play. I have a Fender amp I could lend you, and I was gonna make it like you got to wear a Hawaiian shirt. But Tom, when I said that to Tom, he went, "That's really yeah." So, but yeah, I mean, people are asking me about playing it out, and I think a lot of it also had to do with the design of the shirt. As you said, you saw the logo and
Mhm.
everything. I think it was also kind of a gimmick where I was like, oh, I'm gonna sell a shirt of a surf club, and people won't know if it's a band or not. And then
Right.
so I said, oh, for like a gimmick, it's like, oh, you get the shirt, the music comes with it.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
No, I think it's great marketing too. I mean, even if you're not a fan of the music or whatever, people will still buy that shirt.
Yeah, I'm gonna get stickers made and all that stuff. So I'm gonna have like all that, and the guys down at Axelrad, um, they were immediately just like, "Oh, we love this. Like, we want to help you with it."
Who'd you talk
And
to?
a couple different people. I spoke to Matt Wren and what's Stan Boss husband? What's his name? I feel. Oh my god, I feel so bad. His name's escaping me.
Matt.
Oh my. Oh my god.
Matt.
Oh my god. Edit this part. um, it was Matt Wren I spoke to. I know that. I know I spoke to him, and I spoke to a couple other guys down there. And oh my god, who else was it? I feel like a dick right now.
Matt.
No. It wasn't just Matt. It was maybe it was Matt. Yeah, was it Matt?
Yeah.
That's why I was like, I'm losing my mind, right? That's why I was like, wait, no, it's Matt. Yeah,
Yeah. I remember when Matt Wren got hired, and it was hard to different. Like we say Matt, like which one?
yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's why I was like, wait, I'm losing my mind, right? Yeah, I was like, it was Matt. Yeah, I don't know why I was thinking something else. Maybe because my phone's blowing up and I got a billion little messages coming in. But yeah, and I just spoke to those guys, and they were really cool. They got it, and it's just again, it's something kind of goofy and fun. And then I can't forget, I have to mention Connor McGuigan, the Scranton man, the local legend who did the
Yeah, well,
intro.
in the intro, and it's like this. So that now it all makes sense too, because you talked about the Fallout stuff, and then having that kind of
Yeah,
the lead, right?
yeah.
I was kind of upset. I was like, man, I thought maybe he could have, called me up. I get it. I'm
My
kidding.
wife said I should
I'm
have did.
kidding.
My
I'm
wife
kidding.
said I should have did it.
No, Scram Man, dude, who else better?
No, but okay, you're a radio guy. You'll appreciate
Nah,
this.
I'm a
No,
faker.
no, 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 no. You of all people like will appreciate this because if you listen to, I wrote up an outline of what he says, and he ran with it and made it a billion times better. And it's hilarious what he did. And I knew he's got that personality, he's got that voice, he's an actor, he knows how to do
Hmm.
that. Um, but in that little bit, I was really, really worried. I said, 590, the which is WARM. I didn't know if I was allowed to say like 590 WARM because they're call letters. But I just kind of left it as 590. I think maybe I don't think the WARM part's in there. I don't remember now off the top of my head, but I was trying to reach out to some of my old radio people of be like, can you say the call letters of something, like make a reference to it? But I figured it's got to be public domain. Like no one, like they say references to call letters and radio stations all over the goddamn country and movies and everything
Hmm.
and stuff. So I didn't think I wasn't using a pre-recorded broadcast. I was just using the call letters. So my radio brain was like, oh, can I do that? But I wanted it to be I wanted it to be something that people, as you could be 4th of July weekend, as it says on the record,
Hmm.
of people listening on their little portable radios of AM radio of 4th of July music and surf music and everything. And I like the fact that the intro goes right into the first song to make it sound like, oh, like that's where, that's would have been the record dropping on it,
Hmm.
the needle on the record.
Yeah.
Um, I think it turned out pretty good actually of a little surf record, and I don't know, maybe I'll stand back and go, maybe it's bigger and better than I thought it was, but
Dude,
um
it's fun. And like I said before, like your brain just kind of, has to, I feel like it has to kind of always be creating, and you don't always want to do a folk record, right? You have to have these different outlets and different styles and things like that. And one thing I wanted to know, how do you create titles for songs that don't have lyrics?
um well, I think it was just more of just me kind of flexing the NEPA muscles a little bit. I mean, up the line, down the line,
Hmm.
and you know what that is? That's just when the getting stuck in traffic on 81 between Scranton and
Yeah.
Wilkes-Barre. So there was that. Uh, lose boogie board holiday, lose my dog. So I just thought it was kind of funny to picture my dog on a boogie board. What Lackawanna Wipeout is just funny to say. Nerdy Spice theme. Actually, that's the last one. I'll get to that in a minute. No, no waves, all coal is just a complete gimmick of the whole idea of the area,
Right.
of the fact that there's no waves. It's just all cold and shit.
Yeah.
I live half a mile from McDade Park. Like
Yeah.
there it is. And I think that was the whole thing of where I was like a skeleton when I talked to Chris who made the logo. I said like, hell man, like the whole idea of a skeleton surfing down a mountain of coal because we don't have waves. We have that. And then when he heard the record, he was like, dude, the logo makes so much more sense. And Geisha, that is probably again the weird little part in my brain. I have a it is what it is. I have a guitar pedal that's called the Geisha pedal. Way huge. What up, Endorse? Hey, what's up? Shout out. They make it's called the Geisha Drive, and it's probably the most gorgeous guitar pedal I own. I actually have two of them. They did like a weird little run. Anyway, it's again musical nerd shit. And I in that documentary I mentioned with the Ventures, they actually mentioned how popular surf music is in Japan and how a lot of Japanese surf bands incorporate traditional shamisen, the instrument, into the surf music, which they call tiki 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 tiki, and they do that tiki 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 tiki, and it goes into that. So the geisha thing, the geisha pedal was used all over that record, and that riff that opens that song is a Japanese scale, so that's why it has that kind of weird Eastern kind of thing. If the song didn't turn out exactly the way I wanted it, but again, we were such in the moment, there was no don't sit and figure it out, go with it. But the intro stayed, and that distortion sound, which is where I said why it's not exactly as clean as I thought the record was going to be. But again, that was creative intent in the moment. Was a Geisha pedal by Way Huge, and that's why it was called Geisha. And that riff is very Japanese sounding. And that's it. That's simply it. That was that reason. And Nerdy Spice was a riff that I wrote specifically for my wife, because my wife had a YouTube channel called Nerdy Spice where she just streamed video gaming and everything. And I said, I will write a song for your YouTube channel. She stopped doing it, and I loved when she did it because it gave her a good release from work. She enjoys it. It actually got a lot of fun. I understand how stressful it is to run a YouTube channel and everything. I get that, but she loved it. And I said, I'll write you a theme song if you go back. And then so that song is going to be her theme song. That's why it's called Nerdy Spice Theme. And that song, to kind of go back to say like how like people think there's like the iceberg of like, the layers of thought that went into it. I'm going to steal the George R. R. Martin reference where it's like, well, no, it's more or less piles of ice on a life raft in the ocean. There's not that much thought to it. That song I just blatantly ripped off from Pulp Fiction, the scene when John Travolta is driving to pick up Uma Thurman after he just does the heroin. Remember Pulp Fiction?
Dude, I don't think I've seen it in full, and it's been however long
All right.
since it came
Well,
out.
the infamous scene where after he shoots up the heroin and he drives the convertible over to pick up Uma Thurman, and it's a real chill thing. And that song they play, I basically just sat in the room with Eric Ritter, Tom Loeb, Steve Warner, and I said, we're going to do this. Steve, give me that. Tom, we're going to do it. I don't think it's in the same key, but I was like, we're just going to basically do our version of that song. And it's like, got it. There. And then again, the philosophy of first instinct is what it's going with. Go. And that's how it came about. And then she loved it. And so it worked out for me.
Sounds like this whole thing is just fun. I mean, from the titles of the tracks to how it all came together to kind of the vision that you have, if you do play out with it, yeah.
It is fun. It really is. And I don't want to say that it's a complete a lost summer project that I did, because since I put the record out, and it just kind of came out of nowhere because I announced I had a surf band, and 2 weeks later it's out, and then now everybody was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Like I got a lot of that, you know what I mean? I've had a lot of people Um, I don't know if I should say proudly or oddly on this one, but it was just worth noting that a lot of my girlfriends, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Girls who
yeah,
are friends. Yeah.
girls who are friends, yes, are reached out to me the most and said they really liked it. Like 3 to 1 amount. I had my dude buddies just say, "Oh, that's cool, man. I like that, and everything." But a lot of my friends who are girls had reached out and said, "I really like this. I really enjoy this. I love the song titles. I love the vibe of it." And so I think that's interesting. And then I did have a couple people say, "When are you going to play with it?" And I think it's going to be. I think it's fun. I mean, I don't. I guess it's one of those things where I have to see how far people want to take it. And I actually, since I put it out, I had messages from these little punk labels and weird little surf labels. And there's a label in New Jersey that that kind of said to me, send it. Let's listen to it. It's, I mean, I don't know if I should say them or not because I don't want to put myself in any situation, but
Sure.
they're a very reputable label. I buy their shirts, I buy their records, I buy their merch, and they're quite well known. And the fact that they said, "Yeah, man, we'll listen to it," kind of blew my mind. And I was like, and then I had another label hit me up and say, "Let's talk." And this has only happened in like the span of like 96 hours.
Right.
And then here I am watering my garden, getting ready to go back to work, trying to figure out when I'm going to go finish the next American Buffalo Ghost record and booking gigs with the Broke Pines. I'm getting people, "Hey man, can we play this? Can we play this guy? When are you gonna? Where's the gigs? Who's in the band?" And I went, "Oh, I kind of definitely had a moment of like, I went, whoa,
Yeah.
you know. I mean,
Well, I think
you said
it's
like, what is this? You know,
yeah,
what
I
is
think it's
this?"
definitely something that, it kind of gravitates towards everything that you're saying, whether it's skate shops, surf shops, all that kind of stuff. So that's cool. I mean, in the day and age where the internet is our entire lives, it's like you never know where it can go.
Yeah, and I talked to Caleb, who's down at the skate shop down on Adams Avenue. He's, again, I'm not putting him in a position here, but he said like, "Yeah, man, like, maybe we'll book something, put me on a punk show and I can." And then that's kind of where I actually have been sitting here going, where would this? I mean, there's I don't know any other bands in the area that are a band like this in the area. And I think that I didn't set out to fill the missing void in NEPA. I kind of said, I want to have fun, but I want to do something different. And I didn't think that many people would pay attention. And
Mhm.
now I'm sitting here going, okay, now, but where does this fall into? Because I know this can't be a bar band because one, I don't have the material. There
Right.
is no band.
Right.
And I kind of, but I don't want to just appeal to the scene of getting back into the punk Rolodex.
Right.
But at the same time, those people in that scene, they love that they like it. And I mean, I could see this band opening for a hardcore show or a punk show, but I could see this also being on an indie showcase
Mhm.
somewhere or something, or doing something else. I don't know. Um,
Could be like
but
a wedding, like a wedding reception, like just like the cocktail hour type thing. Just like
I mean, I guess. I mean, I had very. I like to think in miles. Anything I do, this might be one of the only times I ever thought in inches, and now I'm sitting here going, "Shit, I should have looked farther down the road," you know.
well,
And
I
yeah,
think that
so
all kind of happen. I think all that will happen almost organically, just like the whole, you know, EP did. I think it'll just like however it goes, it goes. And I think if you put too much thought into it, it may not have been.
you know what? I think I have to remind myself that as well because again, that and it goes back to what we said or what you asked me about the origins of this thing. I was listening to a lot of Kind of Blue, a lot of Dave Brubeck Time Out, jazz records. And, it's notoriously documented on that Kind of Blue record where Miles Davis brought in the greatest jazz musicians of that generation: Coltrane, Paul Chambers, you know, Cannonball, all those guys, you know, Jimmy Cobb, all the A team. And he brings these guys in and he says, I have ideas and I have sketches. And what we're going to do is this. And, you know, I'm not comparing myself in any freaking way possible to Miles Davis. But when you take that mindset to a project, to something, and dumb it down to 3 chords and in a minute and a half, I could see where that philosophy works, that if you overthink it, you're going to ruin it. And I think that's what that was. Yeah, man. I mean, it's fun. I have a couple guys who have reached out and said, you know, let's talk. And there's a couple musicians that I'm speaking to for a minute now about this of let's do this, let's do this. And I have to be like, okay, you know, like I didn't think this was going to be another part on my calendar, because again, the Broke Pines are very active band. We're writing, we're recording, and you know, the American Buffalo Ghost is my baby, and I'm working on something right now that I'm very passionate about, the new record I'm making. And Jeremy and I pick up gigs where we just play the songs we like to play. We'll sit and play Tom Petty, the Grateful Dead, and Jim Croce, and Oasis, and everything. And then I have other things down the line that I have to do that I can't talk about yet, with other local musicians that I'm ecstatic about, that I can't wait to announce that's coming down the line. And then all of a sudden I'm sitting here on this surf record that people are asking me about. And it's like, what the hell? um, so yeah, man, I'm just happy to carve out a little niche in the NEPA area of like, yeah, there's the Electric City Surf Club. And if anything else, it's a goddamn great t-shirt.
Well, I think I saw it pop up and I thought it was going to be an attempt at like a clothing line.
Yeah, again, half kidding, half serious of that could work.
Hmm.
That could work. And again, I the original concept, if you look at all of the surf records, because again, it, I'm not sitting like I had a huge freaking surf collection or anything like that. I had the Ventures Walk Don't Run. Okay, I had that somewhere once upon a time. I did have it, but I did actually, once I made the commitment of no, I'm going to do this. I did do my homework and I actually did do the research and I looked at. I love surf records and I love surf records because usually the band puts their instruments on the covers and usually it's all Fender instruments, Fender amps, the Brown Tolix Bassman or Bandmasters with Fender Jaguars or Jazzmasters and the reverb units, and they're all on the front and they're sitting next to convertibles and surfboards and shit like that. Yeah, and I'm just like, I don't have any of that. And I'm like, okay, what do I got? I live half a mile from McDade Park. Coal. All right. I like the whole idea of a skeleton. I like the Electric City thing. Okay, let's just do that. And we'll go from there. And then again, just go, go,
Yeah.
go, go.
Again, it kind of all just kind of came together organically and it works.
Yeah. And a soft segue into what we mentioned very, very earlier. It kept me busy, kept me off my phone, kept me off the watching the news. Um, gave me something to hang my head a little bit higher for, and let the world sit outside for a couple weeks
Yeah.
and months. Yeah, you know where I'm going with that.
Yeah. And we'll get into that. You're a baseball fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Sandberg died.
Oh shit!
Yep. 65.
No shit,
Yeah. That's we had a hell of a few weeks now, or a couple weeks.
man. Yeah,
Ozzy, Hulk, Ryan Sandberg now.
wow.
65 is young.
Cubbies. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right, man. Wow. Well, that is young for him.
Was he
I
sick?
mean,
Was he sick?
it must have been.
I don't know.
Jerry Connor, he's actually going out to see the Cubs. I asked him if he was going to go get a dog at Wrigley. And And he was like, yeah, I'm gonna get the Chicago dog. And I was like, oh,
Hmm.
okay, cool. Um, yeah, then Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah.
That was that sucked. That really sucked. That was a thing. I was like, oh my god. But I mean, he got to go out on his own terms, really.
Yeah. I mean, it's sad to say, but it feels like he's been like on his way out for 20 plus years.
20 years. You
You
remember
know?
the show?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that's I think where I kind of was introduced to Ozzy, was the MTV show. Like I was always big into music, but like if you asked me to name the bands he was in or name songs, I'd probably be like, I try and get lucky. Um,
Yeah, I I was never I, I was I definitely had Black Sabbath's first CD as a kid.
yeah,
I was never I was into the hits, I would say. I
right,
mean, and then yeah, I mean, I kind of gravitated a little bit more towards Led Zeppelin, even though they're not even freaking close to the same kind of band. But I guess when you're that age, you kind of pick your lanes a little bit. Um, but yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat, man. I mean, I knew who he was. I knew, Blizzard of Oz. I knew that record. But when the show came out, I was like, oh my god, you know. Um, and yeah, that was upsetting. And then Hulk Hogan like the next day, which I gotta be honest, man, I kind of had mixed emotions about because as a child and as a kid from a child who was born in the '80s, I'm part of that Hulkamania generation.
hmm,
I had all that stuff, and then when you find out what kind of person he is and the things he says and doesn't deny what he says, you're like,
sure,
I, which I'm not going to repeat. People could Google and look at whatever the hell they want, but
yeah,
um, but I very much separated my childhood from what he was, and I was like, he was Hulkamania, man. He was, But then oddly enough, I was talking to some of my buddies who are into wrestling. They're like, he wasn't even that good of a wrestler, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah,
yeah. I
like
mean,
like like it matters.
a lot of those were like lost on me. 'Cause my aunt passed away last a week before last week, so like I was
Oh,
going like
yeah, I think I saw that. I'm right. I'm
so
sorry.
yeah, so
I'm
like we
sorry.
had her
Yeah.
funeral or her services last Wednesday, was it? Or last Tuesday rather. So it'll be a week tomorrow. So I was like, none of this matters. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's just it's part of life. But actually, I saw the Bare Naked Ladies last night at Bethel Woods, and they played two songs to honor Ozzy. It was War Pigs and Iron Man.
Oh, man. A pair of naked ladies. Oh, that's great. I love how everybody's doing stuff. Um, Speaking of Bethel Woods, I'm going up there. Um, my wife's giving me some serious static because in less than 3 weeks we're going to Ireland, and I kind of made it very public that I scored tickets to see Oasis over in Dublin, and so
Did
I'm
you?
doing that. Yeah,
Oh
yeah. So I'm
shit.
going there. Yeah, and check this out. So I got tickets to see Oasis in Dublin, the last date of the European tour. So it might be like it for
Hmm.
them. So freaking Paul McCartney might come out or some shit. Like, what the hell is going to happen? Um, and then my wife wanted to extend our vacation and say, let's go to Paris. It's right there. It's like a 50-minute plane ride. And I said, no, I can't. She's like, why? I go, because I have tickets to see Neil Young up at Bethel Woods like the day after we come back. And she's like, are you serious? I was like, this is not negotiable. I was like, I don't give how many stares or you give me. I'm gonna go see Neil Young. Um, I was actually supposed to go see Bob Dylan and Wilco and Willie Nelson this Saturday up at SPAC, but I just can't swing it. It's a 3.5 hour drive one way. I don't know if you've ever
Yeah.
been up to SPAC.
Mm-mm.
It's you're seeing signs for Canada. That's how far up you
Okay.
go. And that's one way, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of tough. And then next week, I am being dragged. I'm saying that I'm being dragged to New Jersey to see My Chemical Romance do the Black Parade, which
Well, I mean, the stuff you're talking about, I mean, how many more years does Neil Young have?
that's what I'm saying. Neil Young's getting Neil old, so
You
I
know?
might as well.
And
I'm not missing them.
who knows? Well, and you say drag to My Chemical Romance, but iconic to a degree, right? For
I
their
mean,
genre,
yeah, I
their
mean, I was a
emo.
f- I was a freshman or second year into college when the Black Parade came out. So
Mhm.
however long that, well, that's what shows my age. Um, Even I liked it because I knew of obviously Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge. I obviously knew what that was. But it was not my thing. I was so into the White Stripes and the Raconteurs and the Arctic Monkeys and the Strokes and like the indie rock scene at that time, like Modest Mouse and like as like alternative. And so I could give less than a shit about My Chemical Romance. But someone said to me, it might have been Tom Lopes, who said, "No, man, you dig Ziggy Stardust, you like David Bowie, you like Queen, you like classic rock. Listen to the Black Parade, and with just open mind." And I actually really like that record because it just sounds like a Night at the Opera meets Ziggy Stardust meets Alice Cooper. Like it's a very kind of through line of classic rock. So I'm very excited, I guess, to a point to see it, but I feel terrible because the opening bands I don't care for, and I know who they are, and I know the caliber. It's Thursday and Death Cab for Cutie.
Death Cab's great, dude.
Not my thing.
I saw him 2 or 3 times.
Not my thing. I
That's
feel terrible.
that's
I
fair.
feel I feel so bad that I'm taking someone's seat because that might have been like that might be their favorite band of all time, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna be going to the freaking concession stand to get a hot dog and a beer while they're playing.
Oh
I mean, I
man.
know the Follow You into Dark song, but
Have you tried? Have you tried anything else?
yeah, it's not my thing. I
No.
love the fact where they got their name. I know the mythology of the name is a deep cut to the Beatles, which is a very, very obscure deep cut to the Magical Mystery Tour movie by the Beatles. Um, but other than
Transatlanticism, man. That's a I don't know.
see, this is where I kind of out myself in the scene and everything because
You're okay. You're
I
entitled to your opinion.
no, but like I just feel like a dick because I like in those Clever Foxes, I don't like ska. All those guys love ska. I don't listen to Jimmy Eat World. I didn't listen to like a lot of things that people like. I don't like Blink 182. I was not into those things. I was always into garage rock. I was always into alt punk or to the other side, bluegrass, blues, folk music, Americana, country, stuff like that. And I had never was into what majority of my friends were into, which is why I said I had no secret harbor and plans of being in a freaking surf band. Like it's like that's not at all what like what that was gonna be. So yeah, so then so I got to go see My Chemical Romance. A week later, I get on a plane to go to Ireland to see Oasis. I come home. I go to see Neil Young. And then a week later, I'm taking my best friend, who I just had dinner with, funny enough, I just mentioned a couple minutes ago. We're going to New Jersey, back to New Jersey to see Oasis on their American tour there.
Hmm.
I somehow got tickets to see them twice.
Wow.
And again, I love Oasis. Took shit
Yeah.
my whole life for like, I don't give a damn. They are one of the greatest rock and roll bands of all time, full stop, period. Their
Yeah.
first two albums, plus the master plan, people would kill to have that as their career.
Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I just saw Creed recently too.
Okay. I have a serious question about that.
Okay.
Justin Troutman, you're my shout out. I gave you the shout because I talked to him about this because he went, my buddy Justin Troutman. And I have a serious question about this. The Creed revival. Did you go because you like Creed, or did you go because the joke of I'm going to see Creed? Now, I don't care either way which one it is. I'm just curious.
It's been well documented on this podcast over the 240 episodes that I've done. This will be 240. My love of Creed. I've
Okay.
been a Creed fan since day one, and I even when they were getting shit on and made fun of, same with Nickelback. Um, I never wavered.
Okay.
I never wavered. I was made fun of. My friends like my close friends to this day, they say to me, hey man, like, if that's what you like, that's what you like. It's like one of those
Okay.
like, so yeah, I
Okay.
went because I am a genuine Creed fan.
Okay. I respect that. I completely get no. I completely get that. And again, I could just substitute Creed for Oasis, and that is the same sentence I have. But I'll because my buddy
Well,
Justin, what? I'm sorry, go ahead.
well, I mean, I don't think that's a fair comparison in that like the caliber of like I mean, I think Oasis is I don't want to say far superior, but like I could see like they're more respected and as they should be.
No, I mean like in the context of like you, as you said, you took shit, you didn't waver, you stood by them. That's
Mhm.
me with Oasis. So I respect that. So you went to go see Creed because you actually like them.
Yes.
Okay, no problem. My buddy Justin, I said, did you go because you like Creed or because this revival of this joke, which I don't get, of people are saying I'd rather be at a Creed concert or Creed everything. And he's like, oh no, I went for the comedy just to say I went there. I was like, okay, that's that because he said oh, it was packed. I go, but was it packed with people who actually like Creed or the people who are just saying they like Creed but really just like to drink Bud Light and
It
get
just
hammered with their friends?
yeah, it's just a night out. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So I didn't know, is there a big resurgence for them? And if there is, great, they're making their money.
Well, I
Cool.
think I think the internet has a lot to do with that, these and then kids um everything's kind of cyclical to a degree, right? Like, you know, what was once old is new again type deal. Like it's
Yeah.
reaching a new audience and like that bro culture and shit like that. But yeah, I mean, I don't
How
know
do you
what it
feel
is.
about that? How do you feel about that?
The bro stuff,
Yeah.
I don't love it. I
'Cause-
mean, like again, like I just I liked Creed. I guess they're considered like a Christian band, and I didn't like them for like I wasn't like oh they talk about their faith and shit like that. Like, is the message cool? Sure, it's fine. I just like the music. I mean, a lot of stuff that I like, I just like the music and the lyrics are almost secondary to a degree.
yeah.
Um, but I mean, I think you have to pay respect where it's due. It's, they sounded um, like they did on the record in 1999 or whatever the hell it was. Scott Stapp is jacked as fuck. They're all kind of like, they're all fit as hell. Like they're taking care of themselves. And people say, oh, Scott Stapp, he's a fucking nut job. Like, well, I mean, this might be a nice segue into like this how fucking difficult life is. Like, I mean, I think we're all struggling to a degree. And I always say this is also well documented. I think we all have some sort of mental illness. It's just how much do we let creep onto social media or things like that. Um, but I mean, guy had a fucking mental breakdown. Like, okay, so what?
Uh
Maybe there's
hey
more to it.
man,
I don't know.
you're 100% right on that. I think well, first of all, I give you kudos for standing by your band because you're 100% right. And like, I could understand what you're talking about though about the whole like Christian thing or Jesus thing. Like, I have this thing where people think I'm religious or Christian. I'm not. I mean, there's worse things to be thought of, honestly, but I'm not. But I do because I sing when I sing songs, certain folk songs. They kind of tend to have like a religious slant to them. Uh, and for the again, I'm not. I'm a spiritual person, but I'm not going to label myself in organized religion context of it. But like, so I get that whole like uh, the point I'm making is that like those kind of songs usually have the best melodies and they
Mhm.
make you feel good regardless of what they're saying.
Yeah, I think if I was to listen to music that like specifically said the words like God or Jesus, I don't want to say I would be turned off by that per se, but I probably wouldn't be very interested in that. And that would probably go along with like politics too. If like you were like if your message like was specifically about politics and like you talked about like if you said Republican or Democrat or Trump or Biden, like I'd probably be turned off in that sense because I don't want to hear the directness of it. I mean, if you have a
Mm-hmm.
message and you kind of want to preach, I think there's a good way to do that.
Mhm.
So, you could talk about faith and, have a positive message without saying like God is my savior, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
you can have an opinion, whether it be left or right, without saying like I'm pro Democrat or I'm pro Republican.
yeah. I agree with you. Actually, I very much. I mean, if you want to go down that line of, if you want to walk down that road right now, um, I think others. I think you and I are much in the group of where a lot of people are right now in this country of just burned out. I
Yeah,
think everybody's burned out, and I think I I'll say this, and this I might George Carlin is right about a lot of things. If you know what I mean by George Carlin when he talks about certain things, and I think he speaks a lot. But um, I think right now America is, and this is going to kind of the only bias thing I'm going to say, and I'm not even going to mention names. I think America right now is in a spot where we got back together with our ex, and we are now 7 months into this and reminding ourselves why we broke up with them in the first place.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? And I think I could, I mean, you talk to people in this country and how they are, and people say, "Oh yeah, I ended up back, so and so went back to that job, went back to that," and then you realize you hate it. Yeah, now you remember why we are in the way we are.
hmm
So I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that this country is our country is in the position it's in right now. But I know a lot of people kind of get that cold slap across the face of like, what the hell was I thinking? You know what I mean?
yeah. We're so divided in general, whether it's right, left, all that kind of stuff, and we want to get into you know the 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 the, the depth of it, but you talked about kind of getting off social media, and I think a lot of, I mean, again, well documented on the show, like I've had a little bit of struggles with just like everything, whether it be the division that we are as humanity, social media, the fighting back and forth, and dealing with loss, and there could be stuff with work or what. It's like just constant. It's just always in your face. And I think that to a degree, and I know I'm guilty of it, is I don't know how to remove myself from it completely sometimes. Where I like the phone, especially the internet, like I need to put it down. I need to put it
Oh
down.
yeah.
Like there's a lot of things that I can look at myself and say, I know the answers. I know what I need to do. It's just like I don't do them. Like I need more sleep. I need to get off my phone. I need to get my ass back to the gym. I was like on a 9 month consistent 4 day a week thing, which is the most I've been committed in my entire life to something like that. Um, and I just kind of fell off back in like middle of April, and it's been challenging to kind of like get my get my bearings about me, I guess, if that's the 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 quote or the saying or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, I I'm very much guilty of the same kind of stuff of started a workout routines and get back into kind of a thing, and then just it's very easy to fall into the doom stupor a little bit, and yeah, get off the phone, man. I mean, man, like I, I I hate being on Facebook. I really do, but it's like it's just, you gotta. It's really hard and everything, but it's like you you hit that log out button. It's kind of interesting is that like I don't turn it off, or I say like I don't uninstall it, but like I log out, and then I realize it gives you. It's a pretty good indication of how much you actually try and use it when you click on it and you see the login and you go, oh wait a minute, and you stop yourself. So I do that, and because you're right. I'm sick of looking at the division. I'm sick of looking at everybody fighting about every little thing, and nothing is going to get better in over posting and anything like that. It's just that like I've actually lost friends over massive arguments over I don't want to go into the details of politics and what's going on in the world, but I basically they're obsessed with their phone and arguing with people on their phones to the point where I said, "Do your kids have lunch for tomorrow? Do they have new shoes for school? Uh, you got that vacation planned away? Then what the hell do you care on your phone?
Right.
Let it go. Like you're more about arguing with somebody on your phone over something that you have no control over, uh, places you're never going to go to, things you will have absolutely no bearing on in any capacity, and all you're doing is getting little victories by one upping people on Reddit or anything else. Your kids are waiting to go to pick up food. What's more important right now? You see what
Hmm.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like I kind of looked at it from that perspective of like um of just like I don't get into pissing contests, man. Like I refuse to get into pissing contests because it's not going to accomplish anything. At the end of the day, you're both going to go back to your little corners where I got him. Oh, I got him. Well, no, nothing happened, and the whole world could see your little hissy fit. And then in 9.5 hours, there's going to be two new people in the middle of the ring having almost the same exact argument, and they're going to have the same thing. And what was accomplished?
Yeah.
Nothing. Your bill still got to get paid. You still got to go to work.
Yeah. I've never even had like an argument back and forth on social media. Which I don't know what's worse. Is it the person who, like you said, like, oh, I got the one up? Because I don't do that. I don't get involved with fighting on it. It's the dumbest thing you can do. But is it dumber to scroll through it and read all these idiots?
Oh, guilty, 100% guilty. Oh,
I
that's
and I've done it,
yeah,
but I'm like, I've wasted so much time.
yeah,
Like, and for what? For what?
exactly, exactly. No, I'm 100% guilty of, just and then I don't want to sound like a better person because no, I'm 100% guilty. Just because I didn't participate doesn't
Right.
mean I'm not sitting there going, oh shit, And again, that's part of the problem, and it's just
Yeah.
trying to get off of it. And I think that's why I look to music and other things that I have going on in my life. It's like, okay, good. Like today, like change the strings on my acoustic guitar because I know I have some gigs coming up and I got to take care of that. Put on some records, put on some jazz records because I'm still, again, listening to a lot of jazz. And I put my phone down and that's it. And it was a
Yeah.
nice, like, oh, okay, here it is. Go for a walk with my wife, take care of my dogs, get
Yeah.
ready for my vacation. Like,
Yeah. And
simple.
I've caught myself and I hate myself for it. Like being in a room with my kids and instead of engaging with them, I'm like on my phone reading these arguments of idiots. I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
And I
I,
think,
I mean, I don't have any kids, but I can understand that frustration. Um, I
well,
mean, as
it's just stupid of me to even like, why is that more important than, like you said before, like, what actually matters? Like these are my children that live with me and like they're my children. Like, why am
yeah,
I concerned with what these idiots are talking about on the internet? It just I need to get off of it. And I think it's come to a head to a degree over the last couple months. It's part of the problem for me.
yeah, and I think also, if I get a little heady here for a minute, our generation was the essentially the first generation really to see how powerful what these things could become and do.
Hmm.
Of remember, like when you had to go, remember Facebook was something you did when you got back to your computer. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like our generation now has carried this burden of social media for how long now that I think what you're gonna maybe see in the next couple of years, or I hope everybody could probably use the break, is just the whole like, yeah, that's run its course. I mean,
Oh,
I don't think that's ever really going to happen
yeah.
with the entire world, but I think you're going to see people our age who were the guinea pigs of that are going to be like, yeah, no, like it was fun. That was fun for a couple of years, but
Yeah.
like look what it's done to everybody.
Yeah. But like you look at it and it's like, well, how do you promote your music? How do I promote this show? How do I find new guests? How do you do all these things?
How do you think I heard Ozzy Osbourne died?
Yeah. Yeah,
How do you think I heard about Hulk Hogan? Okay.
exactly.
How do you think, promoting exactly? That's the toughest thing about being a musician these days is and it really pisses some of my friends off and kind of pisses me off too is the fact that like um I know I've told you this before, but like I practice. I enjoy practicing my instruments. I enjoy practicing playing guitar. Like I don't have a natural gift as like some musicians do. Um, and I like to play live music. I like to play out. But now it's like you have to basically take all of your talent that you've tried to build up and work on. And if it doesn't say exactly what the person on the other side of the phone wants to hear in 15 seconds and something you have to create for them, they're going to scroll right past you. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Yeah,
Like that AI band that everybody was going on
yeah,
about.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, uh,
3 million
I'm not gonna
followers.
lie, it wasn't a bad song, but I was kind of
No,
like, all right, I was like, all right,
but also like, how
but
does it have 3 million fucking followers or
yeah, but
monthly listeners,
again,
whatever the hell it is?
how much of that shit was fucking real?
Yeah, yeah. Who knows?
And then that's the point. But again, I think that was also kind of like a circle back around a little bit, a small little like dart on the board of just like, fuck it. People look up surf music in Scranton. I did that. It was, again, we could look back at it Christmas time and be like, hey, remember when Sean Flynn did that thing earlier this year? Or at Christmas time, we could be like, holy shit, man, you got to go see the fucking Surf Club. They're fucking great live band. I don't know. I don't know where it's gonna go, but
Yeah.
yeah, man, it's just so weird that like in the midst of where everything is of everything is going on right now. I think it wasn't by any means a relaxing little vacation because it was stressful as shit to try and put this thing together as quickly as I did. But I think I'm just gonna be like, I think maybe I could look back on it in a couple of years and just be like, yeah, when everything was going to like everything was really fucking on fire. I was just like, you know what the world needs right now? You know what I mean? So I think that's kind of a little bit of the in there as well. But hey,
Well,
man, I'm just happy to keep making music.
well, yeah. As like an original musician, a guy in a band with bandmates that you guys spend time and create. Um, yeah. How do I put this? And maybe I'm looking too far ahead, but like, how are you guys able to like keep creating and wanting to create when there are whether they're cover bands, which are a huge thing right now, and Loser and County. I'm not sure if you saw this or not. That happened last week. The fiasco with Rock in the River.
Oh God, that was all.
Um,
That made big news.
National news.
Rich Howells blew that up.
Yeah, but I mean, and then I see people in the comments. I guess because this is kind of where I'm going with it. I see people in the comments saying like, I don't even know why you guys are booking these tribute bands. We have so much talent from original musicians, and I'm seeing these, and I'm like, you're 100% right. That's why I do what I do on Saturday nights. That's why 5 years ago now I was doing the underground live things at Carl Hall and trying to support local music and trying to get people out to see live bands and doing an all age show that way kids who are 10 years old who are like thinking about I want to play guitar like they could have a chance to see these things. I 100% agree with that. But the person who's saying these things isn't the person that would come out and attend a concert with five local bands. It doesn't happen.
Yeah, doesn't happen. Uh, so you're asking like why go on essentially?
Not that, but like it's more of it's obviously a struggle, right? Like I mean, you say you love performing out live, you like creating, and you can have a show where maybe there's 30 people, and then there's these tribute bands that are having a couple
Oh,
thousand.
okay. Yeah.
Um, like where do you like, and then you have these AI bands who have 3 million monthly listeners, fake or not, whatever. Like, yeah, what keeps you guys just kind of engaged and like hey, I still want to do this. I want to, get in the studio or whatever it might be.
Uh, I don't know what else to do. I mean, what else gonna? I mean, I shouldn't say that. I mean, I have other things that I do outside of
I
music
know what
that
you mean by that. I know what you mean.
yeah, but like I I think it's I don't know, man. You just the cover band thing seems to be kind of coming back around, and Steve Warner, like I said, who played drums on this record, who's the drummer in the Broke Pines. We are an active band. Um, he plays in a cover band, and he tells me, what that life's like. And I know those guys in those band. Those guys, I've played shows with those guys before. They're great dudes. But I mean, it's no state secret for the Northeast PA area of like cover bands. Early, I mean, it has its ups and downs, and right now it seems to be kind of going back up. Of just like anytime they open up anything remotely with a stage and the sound system in it, there's 7 or 8 cover bands that just book the calendar and that's it. And then leaving people like me kind of sitting around waiting for the opportunity. But man, I like playing music. I go out and you, it's tough, man, because like I'm not gonna sit here and say, "Oh, that's bullshit." Oh, like follow your heart, follow the passion, and everything. Because Jeremy and I from the Broke Pines, we have an acoustic duo called the Twigs, and we'll sit and we'll play the songs that him and I write. Dave Connors, who's in the band with us, we play those songs. But we certainly know that when we play a Tom Petty song or a Grateful Dead song, that's where people start throwing money in our our,
Sure.
our guitar case. You know what I mean? But also, we like playing those songs. So
Of course, yeah. And I'm not knocking.
I
I'm not
yeah,
knocking
yeah.
anything.
But I think really there's a gray area in there. I think that's a better way to say this here is I think I have no problem with playing other people's music out, but again, this is kind of the whole philosophy of the Broke Pines in the sense where that whole band started because we wanted to say, what if there was that great bar band from the 70s? Like how the band that came up through the club scene where they wrote really good songs, really tight originals, and then played songs that people knew, but songs that they wanted to play. Like that's what the Broke Pines are in my mind. And that is incredible to me. I love it. And so I think if you go at it from that aspect of like, yeah, I'm gonna go play some other songs, but I'm gonna play the songs I want to play, then you get the satisfaction of this is what gives me joy, and I have no problem with that. But to watch a band that is only cover band or an AI band that is, as you said, breaking it in and doing all this stuff. Um, if you talk to those musicians, most of them are going to say they have other gigs where they're doing what they want,
Right. That's paying the
or
bills.
they're paying the bills,
Right.
and
And that's fine.
I don't, and there's fine, and I don't want to say this in a negative way, but it needs to be said, so I have to choose my words very carefully.
Yeah, do it because I'm not going to edit this.
Okay. um, I have to choose my words very carefully how I say this, but it has to be said because it's part of the conversation. Um, they ain't getting any kind of self
Fulfillment.
fulfillment by doing those gigs.
Right.
They like making money and
Sure.
they like playing music with their friends. I don't know a guy, any musician, that gets the high from going out there and playing please tell me why every single weekend. You know
Right.
what I mean? So I think there's layers of yeah, they do it. That doesn't mean they're happy.
Yeah, I imagine it's like copying a book report. It gets done, you get paid, you get the grade, but it's like, all right, but is this really like in the back of your head, it's like that that wasn't your work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, when I play American Buffalo Go songs, like that was kind of like my thing where I was like, I was a purist. And then, I mean, remember when you talked to me about it all those years ago, and I was real asshole about the whole thing, to be honest. Not to you, but like just really the whole philosophy of it in general was like, um, of like, no, I'm going to do a pure folk thing, a pure thing, and everything like that. And then, I read a famous quote by Dave Van Ronk, who was one of the guys that I look up to. He's still one of my favorite musicians of all time, a folkie in the Greenwich Village scene. He said, he's like, you know how you could tell the purists at a folk show is because they're the ones sitting there in the audience pissed off at the guy who's up there playing, making money. You know what I mean? And I think that philosophy, that played a big key into what this surf thing is, of just like, yo, man, what are you doing? You're playing guitar. Do you like playing guitar? Yeah, then have fun with it. Okay.
Hmm.
This isn't, oh, I need to have the 1961 brown panel, or the brown Tolex Fender reverb unit. I need to have the $8,000 1959 Fender Jazzmaster with the 212. I need to have the tweed suit. And it's like, no, I mean, would it be nice? Fuck yeah. I like toys. But I think that's why this kind of happened as quickly, in the positivity of it when you listen to this record. Because I've listened to the fucking thing a billion times. I had to. But every time I listen to it, I sit there and I go, it sounds like they're having fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It sounds like it's fun. And I think that kind of came off of it. I was just like, man, just have some fun. As we said before, what is this, what it is. But you know, I'm just happy and fortunate that I still get to make and create something different. And if the Electric City Surf Club ends up becoming something bigger than what it is right now, I'm not going to say, oh, fuck that, it's not what I thought this was going to be, whatever. I'm not going to turn down the opportunity to play music, especially if I implement the weird little rules in my own little capacity of like Fender instruments and everything. Because again, I could take it in my own little way. But and I think also to our area where we said the cover bands and everything that are kind of coming up, you can go see those same cover bands over and over and over and over again. But again, ain't a lot of fucking surf bands in the area. I'm not going to charge $20 at the door to watch 14 minutes of music. Give me $3 and you get a beer and enjoy the rest of your night. Get a Hawaiian shirt and go home and do whatever.
Yeah.
So it's a weird little time, for the world and everything, and where we're at right now. So I think if we take anything out of all of this, it's just, you
Have
stay in
fun.
your lane, have fun,
Have
stay
fun.
in your lane, shoulders, stay focused, take care of yourself, positive mental attitude, and have fun. And, everything is a distraction. And as long as you don't let it get to you, and you can do whatever the hell you want, write a book, make a garden, do anything.
Stay
And
off
I
the
think that
fucking internet unless you're
stay off the
watching this, unless you're listening to the Popko Project or the Broke Pines or the Electric City Surf Club or those Clipper Foxes or old charades. Otherwise, stay,
yeah, stay the fuck out.
stay off the internet.
Yeah. So yeah, man. I'm just since the last time we spoke, the world's in a very different place now, and
It doesn't take much, man. It's ever evolving, and you try and look at the bright side of things and say it's not that bad, but then you get stuck on the internet and you're like, wow, this was worse than I thought it was.
yeah,
And it's like, is this just manufactured? Am I reading the wrong shit? Like, what's true? What's false? What's real? What's not? It's
yeah.
challenging.
I and then it sucks because you have to be in the swamp because you have to promote your shit. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And you have to be in the fucking. You have to be in the arena. Like I'm pretty jealous of a lot of guys who um, somehow manage to get by and do it without it. And I think that's why uh, I, I I barely made a Facebook page for this fucking band. It's more Instagram because I feel Instagram you can still kind of control your shit a little bit more. You
Yeah.
can still kind of tailor it a little bit more, which is why I still like Instagram over Facebook. So that's why I was like, oh fuck it, if I make a Facebook page for this I don't give a fuck, whatever. I can just promote it on my own page. But the Instagram, I was like, that's kind of cool. That you can still kind of like have a little bit more of it and
You know, it's
and
visual. It's
all that.
kind of
Yeah, exactly. So I have not given up hope on Instagram yet. Um, and I find a lot more people are starting to kind of get the same vibe as well of like, like the guinea pig generation for Facebook is starting to get wise of just like, okay, like we're gonna go get the social media fix that has been drilled into our fucking heads now for 15 plus years or whatever. We can go get it on Instagram because we can still kind of fix it. But yeah, man, yeah, it's sad. I don't even want to fucking know where the world's gonna be, you know, and what's gonna happen.
I hope it all blows up. Not the world. I just hope yeah, I know you don't have kids. Um but like I was just like adds to my anxiety that I've been experiencing for many years, but more so in the past couple months. Just like, what's their life going to look like? And, I'm hoping that by the time they get, I mean, like my son's in school, but I'm hoping like by the time he's in, junior high or high school, like education figures itself out and, the healthcare system figures itself out and the internet figures itself out. And I don't think it will, but
I don't think it will either. I mean, I actually take hope in something Sturgill Simpson said. I'm a big Sturgill Simpson fan.
yeah,
Like
he's
I'm a
good.
big fucking Sturgill Simpson fan. I went to see him on the legend, like what is now the legendary first Johnny Blue Skies tour. I saw him, and he made a speech. I actually saw him. I saw him like that. Was it like that Thursday after the election? So there was the vibe was a thing, and he said a couple things, very 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 minuscule things he said, but he did say that made a viral thing, which I actually kind of go back and think about quite often because it does actually help me a little bit of a mantra where he goes, right now, regardless of what you feel and think of and there's negative and just a lot of negativity in the world. Again, you can go back and watch the clip and hear exactly what he says. But he just basically says right now, all of that is basically in the death rattle, which is why it's fighting so hard to stay relevant. And that's called the death rattle. And we're in for some dark, dark shit, but it's going to be worth it once we get through it. We just got to sit through it for a little bit longer and everything is going to be okay because that's how these things are. And I was like, that makes sense.
I hope so.
So do I.
Yeah.
So do I. But yeah, buddy, just doing our thing.
Well, I love to hear it, and I'm always excited when, a new album comes up or, from the various projects you're a part of. And obviously when, this came about, I was like, okay, this is cool. This is different. I'm not surprised one bit. I'm like, if I wasn't surprised. I mean, if anyone was going to do it, it's Sean Flynn.
But okay, let me ask you, did you like it?
I did. Yeah, man.
I didn't actually say that. I was like, you're just sitting there grinning and smiling at me, but
No,
you're
no,
just
no.
like, it fucking sucked.
So, admittedly, uh, I'm a big. I like lyrics to songs,
Okay.
even though lyrics are secondary to the music. I like it combined. I'm not saying I dislike this by any means. This is
Yeah.
what I mean. It is what it is. Like
Yeah.
this is supposed to be this way. And again, like it took me back to like a simpler time. It belongs in the Sandlot. It belongs in one of the Beach Club episodes of Saved by the Bell, which is a show that I grew up with and I absolutely loved. Like it took me back to a time of my life where it was simpler. It was enjoyable. It was relaxing. It was fun. And I
Yeah.
think that's exactly what it should be.
Yeah, man. I'm in like a weird little headspace with that. But yeah, I very much appreciate it. And I'm rather surprised at how many people have kind of saying a little bit of the same thing of like, it's fun. It's fun. Like there's no lacking in fun bands in the area, and there's a lot of great bands in the area though. And so I'm not saying I'm in any capacity better than any of the other bands. I'm just another guy in the
No,
scene. But it's
but
just like
it's
it's
refreshing.
different.
It just
Yeah.
it's it's just kind of like, I mean, you can try and follow the recipe that is, rock or pop or whatever it might be. And obviously there is a bit of a recipe to this, but I feel like it's like the path less traveled to a degree. So it's
Mhm.
like a nice little break from all the other noise.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, and uh, I don't know, I don't know why, but women seem to dig it. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with that. It's cool.
Buy some shirts,
It sells some shirts. It's cool. Yeah, it's
dance, have a good time.
just dance, have some good time. That's it, man. It's just like have some fun. I mean, I can, like I said, I can go down my own little trip of my little reasons of why I do this and why I'm doing this and this and like in this particular project of the the layers of it are my own personal thing. And if somebody comes to see this band, if we ever play out and they get something completely different out of it, that's fine. But I'm gonna sit there and be like, okay, cool, all right, like I know what I'm trying to do here and do that. And again, I can't play jazz. I love jazz. This is dumbed down jazz. Christ, I used to go see the Southside Five every single week when they played up at Jack's Draft House. They are in my book the best band in the area. I love Southside Five. These guys are phenomenal. So I think seeing them continuously of just like, okay, and then like, I'm not surprised myself that something like this kind of happened, but this was not on my radar to happen. So I guess that's the best way to look at it.
Yeah, but it all happened like it should have. It just
Yeah,
organically, naturally, and I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes.
honestly, me too. I'm curious because um, I'm honestly kind of basically just throwing stuff against the wall with this and seeing what sticks. And I found out in the last couple days since I put everything out, a lot more sticking. I'm doing a lot more sticking than I am throwing, if that
That's
makes any sense. Um,
that's great.
yeah, man. So if we're gonna get some shows, we'll post it. It's probably gonna sell the t-shirts. If I make another EP, uh, I mean, if people want me to do it, I'll do it. It's kind of in that aspect of it. And again, I'd love to play with anybody. That's why I could call up Dan Rossler from
Yeah.
Estakota and be like, Dan, you want to play guitar?
Yep.
Or like I could, like I said, Kuzo was immediately like, dude, if he's not on tour with Cold, he's
Hmm.
like, dude, call him, he'll play.
Yeah.
So it's that is the thing I'm really kind of hoping does happen before like we get to the end of that. But I want to see who would do it because again, it was another little concept. I could be like, yo, come see who's in the club this week.
Right.
Who's surfing this week.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
It's like fuck it. Like, oh, I got Pucker Up as the backing band. Fuck it. Like, you know what I mean? Like anything could happen.
Who's the diamond in the coal?
Exactly. Exactly. Like I think that idea alone is worth exploring and just fun. And I think that's because I said the songs are so simple to a musician that I could literally be like CFG.
Yeah.
Make sure the tempo is like this. Watch the turnaround. There it is. Done.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's have some fun.
Well, Sean Flynn, Old Charades, Those Clipper Foxes, American Buffalo Ghosts, The Broke Pines, and now the Electric City Surf Club. Thank you for hanging out and re-entering me into the podcast game again because it's been a minute.
Oh, buddy, let's not wait so long to do this again. It's been a
Well, yeah.
couple
Well, you're
years.
talking about a new American Buffalo Ghost song. So when you got that, or album rather, so when you got that ready to roll, we'll get the band together and
Yeah,
do something.
something I will actually put more than 5 hours of thought into and go for it. Yeah, buddy.
Awesome. Well, best of luck with everything, and I look forward. Hopefully, I'll see you out, man. I saw you last year. I saw you last year at a baseball game, and I was supposed to throw out the first pitch, and the game got fucking rained out.
I remember that. I was on a work outing. I was getting drunk. My boss was
Yeah,
picking up the bill.
I was having a few beers to shake the jitters, and it was all for naught. But hopefully, I'll see you out.
Dollar beer night. Yeah, dollar beer night was still dollar bill night. It was a good time.
Yeah,
But
man.
yeah, buddy, it's great to talk to you again. And yeah, man, we'll definitely hopefully we catch each other around the clubs.
Awesome. And stick around for a minute after we're done here.
Sure.
All right, man. Thanks.
Yep. Yep.
See ya.